We'll see, Chris. I'll be honest. Some of your predictions at times, start to waver, but I've got some confidence. I've got some confidence that we maybe could have a good series today. Jay, how about yourself? What do you feel like?
Well, this is a tough series, if you ask me.
Come on.
They looked at the maps and modes. I'm pretty sure in the first 4 maps combined, Florida Mutineers have less than a 20% win rate. So this is going to be a very, very difficult series for the Florida Mutineers. They just bought Vico in for this stage as well. And Vegas Legion, they're playing lights out. You saw that series yesterday versus Toronto. Standy was a god.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Standy is unbelievable. Whoa,
oh,
Jay,
look at him. Whoa, the guns are
out today. The gun show. Pow, pow.
Wow.
He might actually drop a 2KD today. This is possible.
He might have woke up inspired, tuned into some twitch.tv/censor, and was just like, this is the guy that I need to be like. And he's pretty swole, man. The guns are out. I'm excited to see what he's able to bring today.
I love it. I love it, dude. He's brought out the stash. He's bringing out the guns. I'll be honest, I hope for stream's sake, he maybe doesn't even win this game, because who knows where he can go after this. Anyway, into the Mercado we go. Game 1, Vegas Legion taking on the Florida Mutineers. Jay, we obviously talked a lot about the Legion, but for the Mutineers, there hasn't been a whole lot of positive chatter around them lately. 5 series in a row they have entered, and they have lost. What could be the difference maker for them today?
It has to be the respawns. All throughout this stage, they're 1-5 in hardpoint. They are 0-4 in control. So that paints the perfect picture. You have to win a respawn versus a team like Vegas Legion, who tend to struggle versus our bottom 4 teams. Like the Des touched on, a 2-5 record versus those squads sitting from the 9th to 12th seed. So if you are Florida Mutineers, it all starts by just at least taking 1 respawn, because their S&D has been about 50-50. Great start to this map, number 1 with a 9-point lead, but at least Vegas Legion set up around this P2, trying to get back and take the lead for their own. All out pressure through bar.
This is a big hard point off the rip. We'll see if Florida can make an early break. That's exactly what it feels like they might need when it comes down to this series, is get off to a good opening start, find an early break. Maybe Vegas have to work, but so far that has not been the case through our first 10 seconds. TJ with some crafty spots ends up really having to make Florida Mutineers work for every single bit of map positioning toward the back alley. That is 2 attempts done and dusted. We'll see how Florida can do on their 3rd jaunt here in toward top cantina, and right now it's a shooting gallery, Jay. That is 8 combined as a team. Wonderful work so far for Vegas.
And now the Mutineers have to chalk this one up. You have to make sure you set up properly over towards that 10 hill. They usually don't find a lot of success on some Mercado hardpoint. 1-8 overall record, 11th in breaks, 9th in holds, 10th in rotations. Nothing is good for the Florida Mutineers, so you just have to make the game a lot easier for yourself, and that's win that rotation off the rip. And then you get some easy kills as Vico is able to find 2. They're trapping the Vegas Legion all the way towards the back of blue. And now they should be fully set up to get some much needed time off of this 10 hill.
Yeah, so as we fly in for 10, Florida aware of the spawns, aware of the positioning, and of which Legion are going to come from. Vico a big spot. I believe this is his 3rd series back in the lineup. So far, he has struggled in hardpoint. He's definitely had his mode, search, destroy, control, much better. But right now on a 4 spree, I'm trying to wheel Mutineers right back into a wonderful position. Still down by 30, but right now they are locking down 10 well. It's not just Vico, but it's also Capsule putting in the work. That's 8 combined between the 2.
Yeah, that's the perfect response right there from the Florida Mutineers. And you already pay attention to your mini-map. Look at the positioning of Brack. He has snuck his way all the way through back barbershop. He's going to be the first player here for Florida Mutineers, but the stun comes in from Standy. He gets the info. He goes for the child. He's able to take him down. So it was a great hole from Florida Mutineers to get themselves right back into this game. They should be able to take the lead with this remaining 10 seconds, but they lose those rotation over towards Barber. Vegas Legion have the opportunity to take the lead right on back.
Yeah, so if they'll be able to do it so far, good stuff coming in from the Mutineers. It just feels like, Jay, at least in the cast that you and I have had, I don't know, when it comes to the respawns, it feels so heavily like it's on the shoulders of Capsule. But we've seen DJ Cap go off for some incredible performances, and then he'll have like a series where he goes into Minnesota and goes double negative in pretty much all of the respawns. A fiery SMG, we saw him on Boston Breach last season, have some incredible moments, and they are desperately going to need him today. He drops, and so do the rest of the Mutineers. A lovely 3 down in the feed as Vegas racking up the time in barbershop.
Yeah, so far these teams are just trading blows. Vegas Legion, every time they had to hold. Florida so far, they at least responded with 1, but now it's Vegas Legion's turn with a flawless 60 over towards Barber. There's going to be another 3 dead, and now off the rotation, it's going to be Donnie Temp. Mr. Don making it rain in towards him. Able to hold down this position for his team. Temp and Standy combined for 2. So they put themselves in the advantage, at least for now, but a couple of close spawns going in for the Florida Mutineers. You just have to be able to win your gunfights. Temp and TJ cut down 2. Temp still holding down top 10 until the trophy is actually going to take care of him, and that should be Florida Mutineers trying to get set up in a mixy hill towards P5.
It is absolutely chaotic. Standing just now manages to get out of dodge for the moment. Eventually falls, but that is just really what is this new Vegas Legion roster now, Jay. It's like Temp ends up dropping. Well, now you have to face off against the layers of Standy and TJ. Even Clay's having a wonderful time right now with Vaznev in hand. But as Florida currently look good for the final 30 seconds, we will see how the remainder of this fight goes down as we step aside and go to listening with Vegas Legion.
Yeah, he's gonna go tunnel or Barber to Nero.
Gonna fly.
I think he's going tunnel to Nero.
Already lights.
Fucking tunnel.
On me, dark. One is dark on me.
I can help you, Dark.
Cactus. I don't know where this kid went.
I'm looking at my own mid right now.
I'm on the tunnel right now.
Got me long, Vickle.
Mid tunnel. Mid tunnel dead.
Go back. Bracken.
I have my own tunnel.
I'm looking short. I'm looking short. I'm looking short. Short dead.
3. Let's get old. I'll get time.
I'll get this guy old.
Watching my own tunnel for right now.
There's a guy on
Help me, Barber. Get ready to help me, Barber.
Barber, guys.
I got the guy on old. The rest are Barber.
Stunning over
Get ready to help me,
Barber.
Barber.
I'm nading over Barber Don.
Got one.
Somebody come.
Barber, enter Barber.
Coming out.
3. Last
I
week you
need
need
it.
it.
There's gonna be more Barber. More Barber. More Barber.
More Barber, guys. More Barber.
Gotta help Barber. Fuck me, cut. I'm mid.
Barber, give it blow. Give it blow.
Shooting you guys
I'm on the mid right now.
More many. You're hitting low. 2 low, 1 top.
2 low, 1 top. Big one.
Top, one shot dead.
Low,
gonna be
low,
interception.
too low, man.
I can help you.
Too low. Finesse.
Low, weak. Throw nades. They have no trope.
We come point. On me, roof. Under roof. Other side of roof, guys.
Search. Weak. He's hitting you right now.
Hey, search dead.
Nice, too.
He's inner stairs, I'm pretty sure.
Don't see him.
Everyone's inner stairs. I'm just preeming over hill.
I do this one.
I'm running out.
Don't hop up.
On team inner.
Hopping.
Could be there.
That's time.
I got
Turn
time.
out. Let's hit this together. Let's take Barber. Let's
Let's go.
Deep right. I'm showing Barber.
Alright,
Jump it up.
I'm gonna fly.
Take Barber control, guys.
I'm seeing.
Working together.
Not a bad check-in with the Vegas Legion, I will say, Jay. Not a ton of energy, but at least nobody's roasting anyone else.
Yeah, that's a good thing, right? Definitely the energy wasn't there. You're going up against the Florida Mutineers. You're probably not going to want to start off with that high intensity, want to work your way into it. But Florida Mutineers, they've been able to respond once again. The entire time towards Cantina, it's so far been all Vegas Legion. And every time Florida Mutineers need to respond, they've done a great job of doing so. But that being 2 down, though, Vegas have the bodies in this situation to potentially find the break. The blue spawns come in right behind for the rest of the Florida Mutineers players as Vegas Legion eventually get on in. But it's still a contest fest. Absolute mixy going on right now.
Pretty much a neck down to this game. As we really see the final few seconds go down at the parking lot, it is going to be what, around 15 points in favor of Vegas. But right now, man, when we talk about the Florida Mutineers, as you said, they've been hanging in there. Respawns by no means have been solid for them so far throughout this stage, but up to this point, it feels like it's been Capsule and Vehicle really leading the way for the squad. We'll see if Brackenfellow can begin to get things going. I mean, you imagine if they can get spawns for Cantina, get those guys toward the top side, there is definitely a chance, but that's what both teams are battling for right now. The bottom side of the map very well could decide how the remainder of this hard point looks. Maybe Vegas getting more in the driver's seat, or maybe Florida overtaking the lead.
Yeah, Florida right now, they're just trying to find the right kills at the right time. And then with that being 2 dead, this is where you can potentially be aggressive through tunnel. The only player on this side of the map is going to be Clay, but with him staying alive in this position, his teammates are now going to spawn on him. So if you are Florida Mutineers, try to get as much time as you can off of this P1 hard point while you're trying to flip these spawns. Great work to put that pressure onto the blue side. Now you can challenge through Barber Alley. Vegas Legion, they have not budged once. They have not had any opportunities where potentially one player is going to spawn out. They have been holding down Cantinas to the best of their ability as Stanny and Temp combine for 2 again.
And with Temp, big gunfight, not able to win that, so it's gonna be a quick 2 down. Stanny has to lunge forward, has to dive on forward. So consistent, so solid. Does eventually drop, but at least lightens the load for Clay. How long can the veteran stay alive? The cavalry is finally here, but TJ, he drops toward the backside. 40 seconds still to play for, and right now it's Mutineers who've got the numbers.
And this is the first time Mutineers are able to break a hill like Cantinas on Vegas Legion. 11th in the league, but at least they find some success right now to potentially take the lead as Vico lines up that shot onto Temp. Actually had the opportunity to play some rank play with my guy Vico this morning. He promised me that today was going to be his show, and so far sitting at 28 and 13, he is doing it for his roster. As the Florida Mutineers, they are able to take the lead. He's winning some insane gunfight, 6 HP. Time to get out with your life. What else can Florida Mutineers do?
Oh, numerous sprees there for Vico, and right now trying to lead the charge is the other SMG in Capsule. He's found the lane, eventually falls. It's a 1v2 inside of the point. Mr. Newberry is able to take it, and now he's got another battle inbound. Temp, eager to jump through the doorway, does not want to give away these points. Eager to jump back inside of the objective, but here comes Florida again, just knocking on the door as Vegas Legion have just now eclipsed 200 points.
Oh, Vegas Legion, they don't have more bodies on this side of the map. He did have one player spawn all the way across, but he was trying to set up the pinch. Fellow goes big. He's able to cut down 2, and now Clay has to put the pressure on to not allow Florida to win, but with only 25 seconds left, you can chalk this one up. If you are the Mutineers, you can no longer win here. Everyone should think about that rotation, and they're already going to be late because 2 Vegas players are set up early.
Vico is trying to cause a little bit of a stir when it comes down to the scrap time, but yeah, the focus is in toward the barber shop, and take a look at those close bonds for the Mutineers. All 4 players ready for a trim, ready to cut down the opposite side as there goes Clay. Temp at least able to lighten the load a bit as we pause for a moment. And Temp with the snapper cuts away Vico. We really go for another headbutt inside of the point.
Team kill.
His fellow who's able to take it. A team kill happens, but Clay still forcing his way from the front. Standy drops by the wayside. 8 more seconds. And
Oh my!
It could be the Mutineers coming away with the game 1 victory, and that will do it.
What an opening hardpoint from the Florida Mutineers, man. Every time they needed to have a response, they got it done. In the final moments, it came down to that last push towards Barber Alley, and you thought Vegas Legion, they were set up. They had 2 players early on in that position, but they could not take down Capsule. Trades are going back and forth. Unfortunately, Standy gets a teammate, but Capsule was the most important guy. He's able to find 3 kills in those final moments to relieve some of that pressure for his teammate who was still sitting in the hill. And then eventually the Florida Mutineers are able to clutch up on this game 1 hard point. Vegas Legion, basically almost everyone positive besides TJ. They were doing everything that they needed to do, rotating early, flawless setups over towards Cantinas. But when you got to that 3rd rotation, Florida Mutineers needed 1 break. They got that 1 break in towards P2. They kept P3 scrappy. And then when you got to the P4, Capsule with the final 3 to close out this hard point. What a banger to start this series as the Mutineers go up 1-0.
Yeah, and it's just impressive, right? Because as we said, coming into this hard point, right? Vegas looking so much better in HP, really, since the start of this season. We talked about it, right? For Florida, 1 in 8 on Mercado coming into this. What are they thinking with the map set? Well, all they had to do, man, was just stick with Vegas, right? Just keep with Vegas, wait for your opportunity, and they were able to seize it. They pretty much put the SMGs in a position where it's like, hey, you guys win these fights, we win this map. And they absolutely strike. As you said, in the second set of rotations, it was clinical. It was wonderful work. You saw Brat going big over at 10 to allow for those early points to go the way of the Mutineers. Just excellent execution for, I know, Jay, we're talking about, trying to reach the top 8. What a moment this is for Vegas. What a massive W would be for them to improve their seeding moving into Major 4. But we talk about confidence. We talk about just season outlook. This is a huge series for the confidence of Florida, and right now you can see it in those player cams. They are feeling it after that Mercado dub.
Oh yeah, they're definitely feeling, man, because that's a map that they probably were expecting to lose. Going up against a Vegas Legion squad who looked great in their series versus Toronto Ultra. You know what Standy is capable of, but I just want to rewind back to that listening. You said there was no energy, and I could feel it in that gameplay. If you think about a listening with Vegas Legion yesterday versus Toronto, that's probably totally different in a map number 1. Now they're probably thinking we're going up against Florida Mutineers, an easier opponent. We should be able to take care of this with ease. But that's not the case, man. You have to be on point in every single match, because you can get caught slipping. And right there, Florida Mutineers took full advantage of it.
Well, that's what the desk was touching on, right? The stats suggest that Vegas kind of plays to their competition level. If they're facing off against the best teams in the game, that's when we see Vegas at their best. When they face off against the bottom 4 teams, It hasn't been a great record all season long. And I tell you what, Jay, I mean, granted, this is wonderful for Vegas, right? They've got their first winners bracket spot, with CDL history. We talk about franchising wise, wonderful. Now is not the time to take the foot off the gas pedal, right? You can improve, you can get better. And as you said, it's just not the comms you want to see, the gameplay that you want to see, and that opening hard point. And we talked about it for Florida. I mean, take advantage of what you've got. If Vegas are not going to come out, play that strong, this is your chance, right? To maybe come out and walk away with maybe an early map or two.
Oh, 100%, man. Like, if I'm Vegas Sleeves, I'm literally telling Stanley right now, put the sleeves down, brother. We gotta lock in. TJ, turn the cam on. Clay, put some gel in your hair, because you can just feel it's completely different for the Vegas Legion. They're probably thinking, job already done. We got winners bracket for the major. We beat Toronto Ultra, the team that we wanted to get revenge for our guy, Standy. But now they have the opportunity to tie up Minnesota in points, and they're coming out here with no energy. Sleeves rolled up. We got to bring it back down. We got to get back down to earth. And I think after that map number 1 is when you hit that full reset. All right, guys, we got to lock in, because this is a series we drastically need.
Yeah, they absolutely do. As we said, winners bracket secured, but the job is by no means done. Still one more series to go for both of these teams. Las Vegas Legion, a 3-1 record, as we said, man, off of the massive W yesterday versus Toronto Ultra, and it was mostly at the hands of that man, Stash Standy. Maybe could be a staple moving forward. We'll see about the Sleeves. Maybe if they win this series, it's definitely a possibility on land. But I know, Jay, we're talking about Vegas, not the greatest opening hard point for them, but we can't take it away from the guy. Standy, the team yesterday was phenomenal over the Ultra.
Oh, yeah, without question, man. To get a win like that, we know it's something about revenge games. When you first join a CDL squad, you get dropped by that team. It's literally a rule. Sam Octane tweeted it, that you have to be able to get the revenge on the team that dropped you. And Standy was able to follow that rule in such a dominant series yesterday. But now, it's all about this search and destroy. Florida Mutineers, this has been their only light shining moment in this mode, has been search and destroy. I said it, they were 1-5 in hardpoint, now make that 2-5. 0-4 in control, but search and destroy has been the game mode where they have been able to take maps over some of the best teams. Like we even saw it versus Atlanta FaZe, beating them on the undefeated aBeZy search and destroy. So if you are Florida Mutineers, up 1-0 in this series, this is the most comfortable you can possibly be in going into a search and destroy, where you usually find some success.
Yeah, and that's, I don't know about you, man, but it just feels like, for at least my eyes, when I look at this team across the board, all 4 players, it feels like this should be a team who is very good at search and destroy.
Yes.
And, you know, we talk about the end of a season. If you are a team that is struggling in the respawns, which, as you called it, as you talked about when it comes down to the stats, this is a team who has struggled in the respawns. S&D can kind of be your lifeline. Like, how many rosters have we seen that Fellow has been on where they have just been a wonderful search destroy team that can have a respawn W here or there? We know what Brack is capable of. Vehicle, when it comes down to challengers, their numbers were insane. And then you had Capsule, who was the guy who basically was the superstar in search destroy for Boston Breach to kick off Vanguard.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that this team can start to become more consistent in it, because as you called it, they beat Atlanta FaZe on aBeZy, give them their first loss so far this season, and they come out versus Toronto and they look flat on that same aBeZy search and destroy. Do you feel like there's a consistency that is lacking with Florida when it comes down to their search destroys? What do you want to see them do here that maybe you have or have not seen them do previously?
I think the consistency is obviously due to the roster change. Like, keep in mind, this is only Biko's 3rd match, so they probably are all the strategies with Havoc. Now Biko's got to come in, you got to switch it all up. But like I said, I had the opportunity to play with Biko this morning in rank play. He was just telling me, Jay, we've been putting in time. We've been getting a lot more in sync with each other. The chemistry is starting to develop. And so far, it's been showing. So now in this search and destroy, the biggest thing that you want to be able to do versus a squad like Vegas Legion, who love themselves some hotel search and destroy, is to simply not give up the first bloods, man. You give up the first blood to Vegas Legion, they have a 70% chance at winning the round on both offense and defense, where it's a little better at 83%. So if you are Florida, do not drop first.
Yeah, exactly. And for Florida as well, Jay, I know that they have struggled when they have gotten first blooded. So I think it's a 13% win rate here in Major 4. So picks absolutely essential, as we will see a quick little draw. Both teams like, hey, you know what? Didn't feel well about the opening round. Let's reset. And that gives us a chance, Jay, to talk a little bit more about this Hotel Search Destroy. Another map where it could be a little bit deceiving. I know you were chatting with Vehicle, like you said, early in the grinding hours this morning. Maybe it's a map that, reads as 1-5, but it's a map that maybe Florida have been comfortable on when it comes down to scrimmages, things of that nature.
Well, so far we saw it in map number 1. They were 1-8 at a hard point, and they come out and they clutch up in the very end. So all these maps, the way they have 1 or at least 0 wins on, they're probably a lot more confident with Vico on the lineup. So even with sitting at a 1-5 overall record on Hotel, they are dead last in every single category. Attacking rounds 12, defending rounds 12. First Blood's 12th. They are dead last in everything. So everything tells me that Vegas Legion should be able to come out and take this search and destroy. But if Vico has anything to say about it, if Capsule is going to be the aggressor, just like they were in that map number 1, Vegas are going to have their hands full.
And I guess the positive too, if you are Florida, is that you do have some VOD that you can watch over when it comes down to Vegas on this very map and mode. This is the Game 5 Round 11 map that just put them over Toronto Ultra from yesterday. So maybe there's a chance where you could pick apart a few strategies, a few plays. Just make sure Stadia isn't clutching any crazy 1v2s. TJ's just holding down crazy diffuses on from time to time. Things of that nature. But I believe we actually are told we have a nice little tweet maybe coming in from Clayster. He said it's been 1,919 days since I've met my brother fellow on the battlefield. Wow. That's wild, Jay. Wow.
That's a long time, man. Like, keep in mind, fellow, he's had a little bit of time away from the CDL. He had to work his way back in. Same thing with Clay. I remember when these guys were teaming on the E United squad all the way back in the day. Right. These guys are some of the closest friends that we have in the league. 2 great friends of mine. So just step on a battlefield going up against a brother. You always want to be the guy to come out and win. Especially if you have 3 championships, 3 world championships. Clay, you cannot let Tyler Fellow come out here and take this run from you.
And how much fun would that be, right? When you talk about, close teammates or other close friends out of game, like, you're always going to hold that above.
Always.
Hold that above him when it comes down to the future. So a huge game for Florida, a huge game for Fellow. See if he can get one over the 3-time champ, which there's not a whole lot of things that you can have over Clay, Jay. He's got quite the resume.
Oh yeah, he definitely does, man. The fact that he's still putting on for what? Is he like the oldest player in the CDL still?
He's got to be
like 31. Yeah. Like, he still puts gel in his hair. He still roars at players whenever he's on that main stage. He's looking like he's 18 every time he steps on the sticks, and it's just crazy to think about that he's still playing at such a high level so late in his career.
And you got to do the CDL player profile interview with them, right? Yeah. And it's interesting because it's so easy for, I think it's fair to say a player who has that resume, what he's been able to do, 3-time champion. Yet, as you we're talking about him in that interview, he still has the fight. He still has the drive to want to win more championships.
And that's the crazy part about it. Like, you're thinking probably after 5 years, it's just, all right, guys, this takes a lot on me. Like, scrims every day, a nonstop VOD reviews, everything that goes into being a pro player. He's been doing it for like 12 to 15 years now at a consistent basis every single day. Doesn't get tiring to the guy. Like, he's enjoying this moment, and he's going to enjoy it until he can't anymore. And I just love to watch my old friend continue to play on.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's going to be a blast to see exactly how this game number 2 possibly will begin. However, we do have a quick little break. We apologize for that, but you guys can enjoy top 5 plays. We'll see you on the other side of this break.
The highlight reel for number 3. Top 5 plays. How you doing?
Towards bottom pool hall. You open up this back door, you get some information onto 1. You
remain stationary. In the meantime, Awakening. More hunting.
Oh my!
Are you serious? Now it's found 2. Does he have the 3rd? He knows exactly.
Oh man!
He's hiding. Come here.
1v2. Surely they check this. There's nearly no way this happens. I refuse to believe it! No way! No way! Subliners take the round.
You got to be ready for this push that could potentially come in as he's able to hit that flank in towards bottom pool. He zaps on the first, able to take down the second, and at least makes it a 2v2 now with Nastie picking up beans. But Nero, he's not stopping. Dead Silence is still here. He finds his 3rd on the round. He gets the sound cues. The last player's behind him. Awakening here for the pinch.
Give it to Nero. Give it
to
Nero. No, God, he nearly threw it away, but it's the 8. Covered in from Nero.
Now they have the numbers. TJ looks to make a move here. It's going to be a Dead Silence push as well. Fires the first. The second is gunned by TJ. That's a reset in the Dead Silence. He has the cover as well. Advantage to the Legion.
Huge plays from TJ, make it 3. Searching for the aces. TJ, hell, he's gonna get it as well. My word, TJ.
Of this bebop side. KiSMET says, if who can do it, I can do it too. Free first blood. There's the second KiSMET. The highlight reel for number 3. Top 5 plays. How you doing?
Give him the ace! Oh, God! That was disgusting.
The Call of Duty League is presented by the GMC Hummer EV Pickup, the world's first all-electric super truck. Upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. The Call of Duty League is brought to you by the new series Citadel, premiering on April 28, only on Prime Video.
Howdy, friends, and welcome back to the Call of Duty League. We're in the middle of trying to get this game number 2, Hotel Search Destroy, underway very soon. Just making sure we swap a few hosts, get everything in line. But so far, Jay, interesting start to this series. Florida start off 1-0.
Definitely interesting, man. I wasn't expecting them to come out and take that opening hard point. That's what they have been struggling all season long, has been in this hard point mode. But now they find themselves up 1-0 in this series, going into a Search and Destroy all in Hotel where they only have 1 win, dead last in every category. They should not be able to win in a Hotel Search and Destroy unless they've been putting in a lot of practice, probably playing some S&D Money 8s, just putting in everything that they got to try to get this one series for them. So I think if you are Florida Mutineers, main guy that you have to focus on is this young man right here, because he was clutching, like you said, 1v2s, 1v3s. He had a 1.8 in S&D versus Toronto Ultra yesterday, and this is a guy that you definitely need to shut down.
Yeah, this is pretty terrifying, I think, for the entire league, especially moving into Major 4. As for Florida, you're going to have to handle a good old 1.61 KD. His first bloods have also been fantastic. You see the opening duel win percentage now at nearly 70%. Insane work they're coming in from the stand man. I think what, Jay, he's number 3 in Search Destroy KD so far throughout this qualifier, and I think one guy who's like above him right now alongside somebody else is like Huke, who has like a 2.5. So yeah, any other stage he'd probably be number 1.
That's just insane to think about as well, man, because Standy recently joined this squad. Like, this is only his 5th match playing with the Vegas Legion. You're probably thinking that strategies aren't going to be completely in sync yet, but Standy has gotten the free reins to do whatever he wants in the respawns, whatever he wants in the Search and Destroys, and so far it's been paying off drastically for this Vegas Legion squad. So as long as he has this goal button, just continue to hit every time he's on the map. This is a guy that's definitely roaring with confidence.
Yeah, and you know, you and I had this conversation yesterday about Huke and OpTic Texas, how it feels like maybe that lineup or certain players on the team have really unlocked like Huke of old. And I know Standy, you know, not a super long tenured player, like came in back in Cold War, but it feels like he is playing maybe his best COD that we have ever seen. Do you think it's a team, you know, aspect where that's really helping his gameplay improve? Is it a play style? Like, what do you think has really led to Standy returning back to form that we saw him in his rookie season have?
I think it's definitely his team aspect. If you think about the Toronto Ultra roster, it's nothing but slayers on that team. Like Scrapz, you got Kleenex, who's now unlocked a whole different level with Hixie playing a little bit more of the objective. So it's been non-stop slayers over there in Toronto. When you look at this Vegas Legion squad, every single time they have played a hard point, it's always within like 25 to 30 points. And the reason why they're losing a majority of them was simply coming down to the slaying. So with him having that free roam, like I said, to just run around, play for his kills, that's exactly what the Vegas Legion need out of him. And if he continues to do that, Vegas Legion, without question, will be able to fight for a championship at Major 4.
Yeah, it's wild to think that, right? It is insane to think that the Legion franchise, we knew coming into the season, adding somebody like Clay, there was always a chance where this team could really start to, you know, see massive improvements, maybe even go to a championship Sunday or 2. But now we're talking about how they very well could have a chance to not just go to Championship Sunday, but maybe even win the entire major. As we'll go and take a look at their road, have they even gotten to this point? Started off with a great W there over the Boston Breach. From there, a loss to the London Royal Ravens, a continuous theme, losing or having closer series versus bottom tier teams. Go to a Game 5 versus LAG, and without a doubt, one of the biggest wins that this team has seen together yet, a Game 5 W there over the Toronto Ultra.
Vegas Legion are just clutching up, man. Like, they have been looking good. I think in this series versus LAG, even though it went all the way to a game number 5, like both search and destroys were basically flawless. First one was a 6-0, second one was a 6-1. They just had to ice out at least one of those respawns to find that W in that series, which was a much needed one for them. And then in the series versus Toronto yesterday, we just keep on saying it. Like, Standy was just unreal in his revenge game. He gets that one done. So far, 3-1 in this stage. But you have the opportunity to go 4-1 and tie Minnesota up in points. And it starts by taking down this Florida Mutineers roster, who definitely caught you off guard in that map #1. But this is where they bounce back. Their strongest mode on the year in this Search and Destroy.
Jay, as we jump into game #2, Hotel Search Destroy, give me the matchup. One player from Florida, one player from Vegas.
I think the one player I want to see from Florida is definitely Viko. Viko's a guy that just makes plays happen for his squad. And then on the opposite side, I know it's all on Standy. That's the guy you're probably expecting me to say, but it's TJ for me. TJ's the guy in S&D who's been lights out for this Vegas Legion roster, so I'm excited for that battle.
Yeah, he has been unbelievable all season long. I mean, I was even looking through the stats. Clay and Temp, they've also been fantastic when it comes into Search, Destroy, KD. Very, very solid team from top to bottom, but it's DJ Cap starting things off nicely. He eventually does become like water vapor, flies away, and drops for the second kill of the round. Despite that, it is Vegas who do get the bomb down, so now it will force Mutineers to make the retake, and Wilfellow doesn't really have the weapon for the job. We'll see if he can put that sniper to good use.
Yeah, no tax as well. Trying to at least check all these corners before they decide to jump on in the kitchen. Fellow knows he has a sniper pistol, so he's just going to give up his life for free. Now it's all left up to Viko in the 1v2. He's one shot, and Vegas Legion able to pounce on him to take the very first round of the map. I said it was all about those first bloods. Cap starts it off, but Vegas Legion immediately respond. And once they get that bomb down, it's basically GG. Them in the post-plant situation on this map, 83% win rate, as it showed right there for Vegas Legion, to now go up 1-0.
Yeah, it absolutely did in a moment like that. So often we talk about, you know, on Hotel Search Destroy, really trying to take advantage of that kitchen bomb site, right? Oftentimes, certain teams only have one player established back there. So for the future of this game, you just constantly are going to implant in the Mutineers' mind on future defenses. Hey, maybe we need to initiate one, maybe extra player over at that B site. But in round 2 we go. Florida will now take the reins of attack. Based off of those arrows, you have to imagine player 6, player 7, maybe tossing over a bit of utility inside of the restaurant, causing a bit of a stir. In the meantime, bomb has been dropped, and for good reason. Capsule just made a very, very interesting jump to the middle side of the map. He also does stay alive. A very interesting setup right now for the Mutineers, Jay. They've got like a full box setup right now here on Hotel.
Yeah, they're fully set up to watch the rotation, to watch mid-map control. As Capsule waited for his death silence to pop before he makes his maneuver in towards top bed. But this is basically the same exact thing that we saw out of Atlanta FaZe yesterday, just dropping that bomb, going for a 2-2 split, and just seeing how they'd like to play early on into this game. But that's going to be Temp finding the first bullet on Fellow. Bomb's going to be down. 3v4 now for Florida Mutineers. We have to get this bomb planted.
That's a big pick there from Viko. Can he find another? Not going to happen. So Vegas Legion currently with numbers. Cap doing his best, given that positioning he earned at the start of the round. What can he do with it? Finds a pick on Standy. 2v2. Bomb planted. Here come Legion, and they've got dead silence.
They both got dead silence pop as Temp is able to take down Brack. Now they know that the last player is going to be towards top bedroom. This is usually a position where you find yourself, you have the ability to clutch. You can play the timings, but you need a player from Vegas Legion hop that defuse. There's no need to rush with 30 seconds left on the clock as they read the push. Find that kill in towards top bed and eventually close out this round. Let's just wait it out a little bit. Let that dead silence waste before we start to regenerate it. And the bomb is getting defused. Vegas, 2-0.
It wasn't a bad setup by any means for the Mutineers. It just felt like once, you know, one player got picked off early, it was like, oh shoot, like what do we do now? Like once Temp ends up finding that first blood, what do we do in a situation like this moving forward for the Mutineers? Cap tries to do anything that he can. Viko at least finds a trade. So with that, Vegas Legion just utilize those numbers to their advantage, and from there they find themselves up 2-0. Tend to wonder a bit after having that momentary pause from game 1 to game 2. The Mutineers, a lot of that confidence, momentum, hype, everything. We start to slow down a bit, but here is where momentum can get back on your side. A miss sniped early there from Fellow. The first blood would have been lovely. However, he'll have to wait for that one. A few players toward the top side, making their way into the restaurant. Standy, the only one in ear's distance, gets the sound cue, and from there, cuts away Viko for the first blood.
That's a big first kill onto Vico. He did sort of try to read the play, what Standy was trying to do. But he gets picked, and then Standy's able to find his second on the round. So 2v3 left up to Capsule and Brack. Capsule at least puts himself in a great position towards mid checkout. Brack at least takes down Clay as well. So 2v2 with 25 seconds left. Still a clutchable round for Florida.
And Capsule does get a bit of information, knows that TJ's at top bed. So with that, Brack 1v2, trying to hunker down, trying to stay alive. Vegas Legion there to eat him alive. 3 rounds, now to 0.
Yeah, and that's Standy who finds the ace. He works his way all the way back from connector. Finds that first kill, and then the final onto Brack to put himself on a nice little streak going into this round 4 as Vegas Legion perfect in search and destroy as of recent. They get the info of Fellow being the player towards top plat. Once he misses a shot, now that only leaves one player left at that B bomb. You take control of bedroom, you get the bomb down, you find the first blood, and eventually leads to success. 3-0, Standy on the 4 spree.
Insane work already, just through 3 rounds. Already at 7, however, job is getting done over at that A side. It's Fellow who ends up picking apart 2. So Standy's done some incredible stuff. Now he's gonna clutch it a 2v3, and well, he's already out of the fight. This one seems to be done. However, there is an Iceman still alive trying to maintain that title. And well, he gets picked apart. A wonderful round from start to finish there from Tyler Fellow.
Yeah, Tyler Fellow ends up finding 3 on the round. Jumps off towards the Godhead. He's able to gun Clay. Able to find the second, then the final. Onto TJ after getting that bomb down. It was good work from Florida Mutineers to change up the pace a little bit. To be super aggressive over towards bedroom. You find the opening first couple of kills. And then you're able to get that bomb down and clutch it on up. Finally getting one on the board. Now down 3-1.
See what they can do with it. As we said, Mutineers, a very talented team from top to bottom. Like to expect when it comes into search destroy, quite a few playmakers on this roster. Fellow able to do it there in that last round. And my goodness, starts things off quite nicely again. Another first blood. This time it's going to be on to Temp. And so with that being the case, it pretty much decides where Vegas Legion are going to move this bomb toward. Into B they go, and it's Brack who's there to greet him. 2 early picks coming in from the TAC users. And now here for Vegas, a standstill indeed. Fellow now on 5 in a row. Standy, last man alive.
Oh, these mid-round adjustments right now from Florida Mutineers have been stellar. Instead of playing for the 2-2 split, you take mid-map control, so you're able to cut off both sides. Now put Standy into 1v4. Goes for the chow onto Brack. Give 2 to Fellow, give 2 to Brack to close out the round. The AR players right there from Florida Mutineers get it done. To now put 2 rounds in a row. Now down 3-2.
Solid work there from Mr. Newberry. Good old Brack. We know what, he had like an insane S&D KD for the longest of times. I don't know where he sits right now amongst the best players so far throughout the season, but I know at one point Jay like a 15 KD on Fortress. I'm sure he still sits atop some of the better players in the league in that mode. It's a great job there, as now that's 8 as a team, strictly just among the ARs. We'll see if Fellow can earn the cruise missile in the meantime. And it seems like he's going to be the lone player at A, as the rest of the Mutineers boys decide to make their way in through the diner. So TJ, first person in ear's distance. We'll see what he can do with it. Attack is out, able to find one. Does he have the second? No. Brack able to drop him, so his streak will remain intact. Cap still falls in the meantime, and well, Brack says, hey, might as well just do this one all by myself. Hops off the plant. And with that, he is going to get made quick work of. Fellow remaining on that 5 spree in a 1v3. We'll see if he can find one more.
Yeah, I think if you're Fellow in this situation, 1v3, bomb down in towards kitchen, like, that's not a gunfight you want to put yourself into. Let's just try to play for at least 1 to earn yourself that cruise missile as he gets info on at least 2 players. Goes for the chow onto Clay, and nothing than your big brother able to gun you down for that cruise missile to be earned. As Vegas Legion are able to stop the bleeding, TJ finds the first bloods that trades it in towards kitchen. Eventually to find a 1-4 Clayser to shut down Fellow on earning that cruise missile. Now puts Vegas Legion up 4-2.
It's a big spot too at the start of the round, man. For, when TJ's in a spot like that, you throw out the tack. It just feels like for Florida, you drop him, your life gets that much easier as you roam into diners, you roam in toward the restaurant, in through kitchen. Just that 1 kill from Tej, also tags up Brack, gets the info. Like maybe there for the Mutineers, a little more coordination in a spot like that. Maybe allow for the tackle to come in, but TJ once more making his presence felt. It's instantly answered back though with 2 more kills here from Florida. Back and forth we go, and it's instantly into the 1v1.
1v1, and Standy has that dead silence pop. Bomb's going to be down all the way at single arch, so Frack's going to back up all the way to his base. He gets the info on the Standy. Standy also picks it up as well, so it's time to wrap back. Let's pick up this bomb, potentially plant it over towards A. As this fight is going to go on for so damn long, he's just playing for the info, and Brax is trying to line this gunfight up.
Oh, Standy's trying to have some fun.
Yippity.
Back and forth we go through the arches. Maybe the strategy is to make Brack run out of ammo. Well, he's doing a good job so far. Tagged up. Here comes the nade. Standy, be careful. Oh! What are you doing, Standy? What's going on? I think he thought that maybe his biceps were going to be able to handle that grenade. Just a quick little peck bounce, and maybe something could have happened. But, oh, yeah, just right at the feet. Trying to get out of dodge. Well-timed nade there for Brack as Florida win a huge 1v1.
Oh, man, that was an all-out mix fest in towards the map as well. Kills are flying left to right. It turns into a 1v1. Brax is putting down shots onto Standy. He said, screw this. I'm no longer going to shoot my attack. I'm going to throw a frag. And that will be able to get the job done as Florida Mutineers, more specifically Brack, able to clutch up in the 1v1. Now down 4-3. Swing round.
Yeah, that was a huge, huge round for the Mutineers. As funny as it was, it's a massive one for confidence. As we said, Mutineers up 1-0 in this series. Some early tags. Standy able to toss that nade over the top. So finally, a grenade kill ends up going his way. Capsule out of the fight. We'll see what Florida can do despite not necessarily having the numbers. Call on to Vehicle. Has to win that gun engagement. Not able to do it. But so far, Jay, it has really been all about the ARs in a lot of these rounds that Florida have been able to take. And now's their chance to do it again, 2v3.
2v3. Brack holding down mid-map, trying to watch any players potentially hitting that rotation over towards B, but Fella's going to put down a couple shots, try to get this bomb down, and Clay is able to take him off of that site. So now it all leaves it up to Brack in the 1v3, bomb down over towards A. They have every single angle cut off. 30 seconds left. This was tough.
No, but he does have a grenade, Jay. He does have a grenade.
He does have a frag.
Let's see where this one goes. All right, he missed. He definitely made some noise, though. Definitely, maybe shook a few of the Vegas Legion players, but with 18 seconds left, this round is absolutely going to go their way. Yep, able to cut away Brack. Solid work there from Vegas. As they make good on a little bit of a frustrating last round. The 1v1 doesn't go their way, but this time it's Standy who starts things off with a nade himself. Getting a few players out of the fight. And now Vegas once more reclaimed the lead.
Just a perfect setup on defense to stack over towards that B-bomb. Find that first blood and then sniff out Vehicle, who was the guy pushed him already towards top plat. You make it into a 3v2. Fellow tries to get that bomb down, but once Clay takes care of him, bomb down on A. So many angles that you have to worry about. Just not enough for Brack to work with. Now puts Vegas Legion at game point. Back on the attack. 2-2 split.
No! DJ Cap starting things off nicely, though. And so with that, that is absolutely going to stagger the push there for Vegas. They lose one of their entry men, and really from there, now it's time to rotate the bomb. Clay doing a great job of really being on Overwatch, making sure that the middle side of the map is clear. However, one player does lie in wait, and that is Vehicle. To be recognizing that things are a bit too quiet. Has to be careful with his life, as this very well could decide how this round goes, is whether or not he finds this pick. Great coordination as he and Fellow combine with the shots onto Standy. An instant 2v4, however, 10 for 1. Oh! What was that? Gets the gunfight victory onto Cap, but now he's got to do it himself. Into the 1v1 we go, and Jay, I have no idea how we've gotten here.
Into the 1v1. 25 seconds left. Bomb down towards top cat room. As Brack has wrapped his way all the way back towards A. No more dead silence for Clayster, but if he picks up this bomb, should be a free bomb plant over towards B. He's actually going to wrap it back towards A, and this might play right into what Brack wants him to do.
Oh, he dives out. This should be an easy kill for Brack. Oh, my word. Clay knows how huge that round would have been.
Sheesh.
I got to see that snipe on the Cap again, Jay. And it brings me back, man, to like, was it Tuscan S&D last year? At like the first event where Clay had a wild play with the snipe versus Boston Breach. How's that for a lovely little no scope? Eat that one, Capsule. Too bad for Clay. Comes down to a 1v1 as Florida are able to stay alive here in the search and destroy.
Yeah, that's just so tough if you are Cap, but if you are Clay, you saw it in his face. Like, he couldn't believe he hit that shot. When you hit a shot like that, you think you're able to clutch up on any round, but loses the 1v1. So you've seen a little bit of frustration. Now keeps Florida Mutineers alive a little bit longer in this search and destroy. All out pressure in towards B. The only player on this side of the map is going to be Donnie Temp as the rest of Vegas Legion work on the flank. Black is able to find two, but now it's instantly a 2v2 with both players in towards kitchen.
Temp hungry for the reach out. Another trade. And well, now, Clay, you've got your opportunity again. Can Capsule make good on the early death that he suffered versus the veteran? Clay bouncing forward just on the outside. Ever so careful, both players trying to utilize the sounds. Clay with dead silence just creeps in, makes sure that B's clear. Meanwhile, for Cap, he's waiting for dead silence as well. So as we approach 30 seconds, it's time for someone to make a move.
Someone's got to make the move. Cap earns his dead silence, but Clay is still crouching around this B bomb. Should be able to get this bomb down for free, but does Clay find the timing? Does he bust through the double doors and get the kill onto Cap? No, he does not. Capsule is able to get the redemption for the nope scope snipe in the 1v1 clutch. Basically almost a rookie versus a vet, but Capsule in his second year is able to clutch up in the 1v1, waits for the right moment to strike, gets that bomb down, uses the dead silence to the best of his ability, and is able to now force a round 11.
And what a huge round this is about to be, man. We're headed to round 11, Florida with the opportunity to go up 2-0 versus Vegas Legion back-to-back. Staggering 1v1 losses there for the 3-time. Can Florida have the ice, or can Vegas finally get around to go their way? A clutch round, maybe at that, as TJ called upon. Oh! Able to drop two. But boy, has he left his dent, given his Vegas teammates the man advantage.
And now look at Brack, though. Brack pops that dead silence, instantly pushes up Plat, makes it a 2v2. He knew that the last two players from Vegas Legion were starting to rotate back over towards that B bomb. With him having dead silence, they might just decide to push right up the middle of the map. And this is a perfect blind counter because both the Vegas Legion players have wrapped their way all the way back over towards A. But you see, fellow, he has no dead silence. You don't want to get those sound cues going in favor of your opponents. You want to find the perfect timing. Wait for Brack to try to clear out towards kitchen before you hit the go route to try to get this bomb down at B. But it's going to be a 2v2 with 45 seconds.
Why do I feel like this is going to come down to another Clay 1v1? It just feels like it's going to happen. Hello, come on.
Open the door.
The doors. Goodness.
There it is. Let's close them.
Somebody's put some grease on those things. Anyway, 10 seconds to go. Bomb planted, and really with a bit of that lack of movement, it is going to give Vegas a bit of an edge, as they can really be right on this bomb. Standy able to win the 1 versus fellow. It's all on to Brack. Now in the 1v2. Can he go big? Cuts away Standy. It's Clay again.
Oh my.
1v1. Can he clutch it out this time for the team? Brack snaking his heart out. Can he clutch it out? Clay on the bomb. Back and forth we go.
What is this?
Why is this so tense? This is insane. Clay.
Oh!
He ends up taking it. And there you go. What a search and destroy this was. It comes down to Clay in a 1v1, and he makes good on it this time. 3rd time's the charm. And Vegas, just barely able to walk away with this hotel. And my God, we've got ourselves a series now, Jay.
We definitely got a series now, my friend. Close map number 1, all the way to around 11 in the search and destroy. Came down to a snake fest in towards the kitchen. But the vet in Clayster was not pre-firing. He was waiting for Brack to commit towards the chow and plays the 1v1 perfectly to clutch up the map for his team to tie this series up at 1. That was such a much Much needed search and destroy from Vegas Legion. It wasn't easy, but they got it done.
But I will say, man, like kind of getting back, it's very easy, of course, to get distracted by the insane 1v1 that we saw in 3 straight rounds from Clay. But I mean, like in that last round, it just felt like for Florida, they were a little late to actually get the bomb down inside a kitchen.
Yeah.
Like fellows having a hard time getting through doorways. Like Vegas recognizes, hey, with 12 seconds left, they're not at this bomb site. Surely they're going to be at the other one. It just feels like Florida didn't really put themselves in the best position, even off the rip, regardless of it. Clay, my God, man, able to finally win a 1v1, and that is it for the game. That's all it takes. 1-1v1 victory, and that is how you walk away with a map. But folks, when we come back after the break, we have got ourselves an Expo control. Make sure and stay with us.
Watch your alley.
Street.
One white truck.
They're going front.
I spawned dumpster.
Alrighty, friends, make sure if you have not done so already, tweet using the hashtag CDL Rank Plays to submit your top plays. Maybe you can even pop up on broadcast, Jay. You gotta submit some of your plays. You're hitting highlights all the time, buddy.
Hey, I'm definitely hitting highlights. I just don't really submit plays because, you know, it's usually an ordinary thing that happens. It's nothing spectacular. Nothing out of the difference of what I do every day when it comes to these ranked kids. I'm always putting them down. But you, on the other hand, I need to see some clips out of you, mate. All right. Because in the bronze lobbies, I know you got the ability to run around with a sniper and them hard points and put up 40. So I'm waiting for you to give me a clip.
Okay, I will keep that in mind. Somebody who's looked like he's been in a few interesting lobbies lately is Standy. 35-19 yesterday versus Toronto here on Expo Control. It's actually funny, Jay. Both teams coming off of a recent Expo Control, both versus Toronto. Both happened to go to round 5. However, it was Vegas who was able to take it.
Yeah, the difference was that Vegas Legion were able to at least win one attacking round. Florida Mutineers, they were able to outslay Toronto Ultra on this map, but couldn't clutch up and secure that 8 point in those final moments. So this is a battle between both of these teams. We got the new map in Expo. Vegas at least got one win. Florida sitting at 0-1. So this one's up in the air for me. Either squad can walk away with this, as Capsule is the player now who has to try to hold down stage. He does find 2 before getting cut down by Clay. So we've seen it so far ever since this map has entered the CDL. Usually teams love to take care of B first. We'll take care of B, you're able to extend time by a minute, and then you slowly work over towards A as the first segment is already going to be done.
Yeah, just gives you a much better outlook, much better chance on the future of the round. However, it is 2 ticks early for Vegas. Meanwhile, it's Fellow and the rest of the Florida boys. They're able to put in a decent amount of work, standing using every bit of cover possible, using the podium, using the random parts of wood that just happen to be inside of the stage. And from there, that is an early zone captured. And job well done for Vegas. We'll see if they can begin to run more of a muck inside of the spawn. Standy would be happy to do that. Eventually he faltered, but boy, have you netted yourself a wonderful beginning to this round, Jay, if you're Vegas.
Yeah, this is a perfect start. If you are Vegas Legion, you have 1 minute and 50 to work with. Try to fight for somewhat spot control. As TJ's the next line of attack. Trying to hold down this angle, but he gets taken down by Vehicle. So with Temp in this position, he's just waiting for his teammates to potentially rat back, fight from the front end before he decides to go for this pinch. He's going to be able to at least find his first kill onto Vico, but it should be Brack instantly here for the trade. So far, this has been a great defensive hold from Florida. You maintain Spa's side. You're able to spawn Vegas Legion all the way on the opposite side of the map. Already 40 seconds down.
Like I said, man, that timer just continued to go away. Florida doing a great job of winning a few of those fights, getting a few players out of their backside glass, and from there are those topside spawns, trying to lock Vegas in for as long as possible. This could be a very rough next minute unless somebody from Legion can be able to make a foothold. So often we talk about the plays from Standy. Clay able to win another massive 1v1, but it's Vehicle on the other side, cutting away half. Does he have words for the third? Vamos, Vehicle, give him a triple. It's 4 in a row here for him.
That's 4 in a row. But with him picking up all these kills, Vegas Legion are going to get those close spawns towards back blue tent. So they should be able to sprint on forward to try to close all towards A. Clay gets the perfect read onto Vico. But now you have to focus on where Capsule is. Currently sitting in towards bottom restaurant, just trying to be a nuisance for all the players of Vegas Legion. Interrupting their play. He's able to take down the second as Brack finds the first. And now Vegas Legion only have one more good push. You at least have TJ with restaurant control.
With restaurant control. Meanwhile, it feels like a big arrow on the map right now. It's player 3, but Brack continues to cut him away. Every time that Florida has needed a big play, they have been able to find it, whether it's been Vehicle, whether it's been Cap, or whether it has been Brack. Final few seconds tick away, and there you go. 1 objective, 3 segments is what Vegas are awarded, but it's Florida who claimed the defensive round.
Yeah, Florida just do what they do. On defenses, it's all about slaying, holding down your power positions, making the kills a lot more difficult for the Vegas Legion. They were doing a great job of blocking that back left spawn, maintaining them to spawn over towards Statue, towards that globe side. And with time starting to tick, Vegas Legion know that the pressure's on. We eventually have to go. We have to try to fight for restaurant control, but Florida Mutineers kept all the kills stacked. It wasn't a clean 2 to 3 down to allow Vegas to stack the point as Florida are able to take the first defense.
What would you say, Jay, so far from your experience watching, obviously playing as well through ranked? Like, what would you deem as a successful offensive round here on Expo? How many segments, etc.?
I think the successful offense on Expo is definitely just capturing A right off the rip. So if you capture A, all it needs is one set of kills over towards B, because the spawns are on a top platform towards top middle check-in. So far across the map, you don't really have an opening. So I think if you are the attacking team, it's all about completing A first. The more difficult one, indeed. But if you get that one out the way, it's basically a free attacking round.
All right, we'll see if Florida are able to do it. As we said, the strategy last time for Vegas was, hey, let's just make our way to stage, get B done nice and early, and from there we'll focus on that A objective. This time it's Mutineers who basically just send all of their forces inside of that A objective. We'll see if it works out for them. So far, not been the greatest. Capsule, they look to try to turn that around, making his way toward the top. Temp eventually able to sniff him out. So from there, Mutineers back to the drawing board, but thankfully they have not been put too far back inside of their base. And while Brack's causing a bit of a stir, it's actually staged where the Mutineers happen to have themselves placed. And really, they are getting dropped every single chance. Fellow trying to lock things down, does get that first segment of the game on board.
Oh, that's a good two-piece though from Tyler Fellow. Brack finds a third, so now this should be a free B capture for the Florida Mutineers. Vegas Leads are going to decide to chalk this one up. Just play the minute 40 defense over towards this A point. As it all starts with Capsule, the only guy here right now for Florida Mutineers, just trying to maintain the best of his ability, this restaurant control, but Standy's able to sniff him out. Now they should be able to extend time by a minute, but Vegas Legion are setting up the trap.
Trying to put him in that vice grip. Another big kill coming in from Don. And from there, the focus comes in toward what can the player 6, player 7 begin to do on the map. Clay really watching out for the push that is absolutely inevitable. A big snap coming in from the vet, as he'll also be able to get out of dodge. So some big W's coming in here from Vegas. Meanwhile, for the Mutineers, they are still working on this push toward the backside. Time continues to tick away, and Clay is not losing these fights.
Yeah, Clay's just wrapping back, choosing so many different angles to attack from, knowing that this is where Florida are applying the pressure, because his teammates have all street controls. They cannot rotate their way back over towards blue tent. With them finding a couple of kills in the feed, they potentially find an opening, because Vico also takes control of the street side, popping that dead silence. Fellow's able to take out TJ in the back of his spawn. So perfect time for Florida Mutineers to maintain this map control. It all starts at restaurant where currently Vico is. That's where you need to start, as you're going to have Capsule working that deep flank.
Let's see what Cap can do. As we said, the timer can instantly become a factor. Now down to 35 seconds. Florida trying to pause the time, get another segment on board, as we are currently tied so far. Any segment would be huge right now for the Mutineers, but here comes player 5 and Cap through the backside, able to cut away for one. It's actually Fellow who's able to drop him from there. Here comes Florida, but at the same time, Vegas able to maintain some map control themselves. And now it is up right now to Fellow, up to Capsule to try to stay alive for as long as they can. Wait for the reinforcements to get here off the spawn. Fellow goes low, ends up dropping. Now 10 seconds on the clock. Standy doing wonderful work from topside bar. Able to put another one in. The dust goes for three. Strutting toward the end of round 2 as we are level in segments.
That's just too easy on that defensive side. You allow Vegas Legion to keep control the way that they did of their spawn. All the way pushed out towards back left. No forward players were trying to contest the back bus. So they knew where the pressure was coming from. Through bottom bar, through top bar, through the overextension in the back of our spawn. As they were able to find the most important kills on the map. Keep that time ticking. And not give up any segments to keep us all tied up at 3. Vegas win the defense. 1-1 now.
If you are Vegas, you also have a few players coming into this round on a spree. So 4 in a row for Temp, 3 in a row for Standy. We'll see if a cruise missile very well could be in their future, while the pursuit of this third round of attack now begins. They will jump on in toward A early, making their presence felt, and now we'll see what the Mutineers would like to do. The setup right now from the Legion. They've also got 2 players over at bar, so with that, it is going to force the Mutineers to have to make a play. Really 1 segment down. The trophies are in. Vegas Legion are pretty much setting up camp. Capsule trying to cause a bit of a stir. Meanwhile, it's Standy and Temp who are able to combine for a few. Florida trying to set up something toward the top. Fellow, great work over at restaurant. Ends up dropping one. Does he have some words for Standy? Not going to happen. But the remainder of the Mutineers lock things down today.
Oh, that was good work right there from Florida, because it was a slow, steady push for Vegas Legion. Try to at least complete 1 segment, but Capsule was the guy that found 2 at the right time to not give up that first tick. With everybody else dropping now, Fellow's the only guy who could potentially contest this. The first segment is now going to be in. Fellow's still alive, but he eventually does get taken care of, and now that's going to be 3 dead. Beagle, the last guy. Big gunfight went on to Temp, but that's already 2 segments done. Vegas Legion can close this out, this 8-point out. It makes this round a whole lot easier. 1:45 now just to capture over towards B.
It feels like for the Mutineers, obviously you want to try to clear them off of A, but at the same time, you also have to focus your attention at the stage. A little late on the rotation, only 1 player here, and that's going to be Brack. Fellow does eventually arrive to the party. You've got 1 player on the flank, Fecal, able to do some work toward the top, and there they all begin to crumble. Last player alive is Temp, but he should get made quick work of. It's about to be a 4-man down, and Fellow's got a knife ready to drop him. Good work from the Mutineers after what looked like a little bit of a late rotation. 1:15 on the clock. As we said, Jay, can anybody hit that 4th segment?
Yeah, that's all it is. Like, just getting at least 1 set of kills to stack the point. As Florida Mutineers, super aggressive up through the stage side, pushed up through Globe, is now going to spawn Vegas Legion all the way towards the left side of the map, towards Spa. Now they are forced to overextend, but that's going to be 2 dead in defeat. Brack still causing problems in the back towards Globe, but he actually loses that gunfight. So a bunch of players from Florida coming on spawn. This is going to open up a lane for Vegas Legion to now get on the point.
Gets a correct 3v2, now make it 3v1. Capsule doing everything he can. Pretty much having a keynote presentation over inside of the stage. He eventually drops, he gets taken down by the nade, and from there, watch that zone begin to fly. Vegas stacked in. Can Mutineers make a dent? Can they start to make their presence felt? TJ ends up falling. Now it's on the clay. Putting in some work, trying to stay up. It's up to him.
Ow!
Oh, and they stay alive. It's Vegas with the reinforcements as they take round number 3.
Yeah, you can see the smiles on Clay's face. He has no idea how he was able to stay alive in those engagements so long for Temp to eventually get into the play, and then Standy with an extra 5 seconds coming off spawn to get into the play. So Clay's able to stay alive just enough for his teammates to stack the point. There were 3 players surrounding him. He wins the first gunfight. Capsule's putting down shots. It's Temp and Clay who are currently shooting at him. Temp's able to take him down, but then Standy all spawn just flies right through bottom stage, and he's able to get that final kill for Vegas Legion to secure the attacking round. Now back on defense, up by 3 segments at game point.
You said this is what Vegas were able to do versus Toronto. The one thing that Florida weren't able to do was to find that success on attack, and now they're going to need it just to see that round number 5. However, don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. Round 4 now inbound, and it's the Mutineers who now have the spotlight on them. Clay still maintaining that spree. As you said, somehow manages to stay alive. He once more feeling the confidence, just happy to sit in between 2 Mutineers players. Unfortunately for him, it is going to be a quick death here into this round as the Mutineers will pause time and find their first segment of the round.
It's so far been a great round for Florida. Exact replica of what Vegas Legion were able to do in their previous attacking round, as the stack is going to be here. That's already 2 segments done. All 3 players on it. Vegas Legion got the decision made for them that we have to chalk this one up. We have to play a 2-minute defense over towards B. Great stakes from Standy. He doesn't want to tip the bartender because he's going to go for the chow, but that's going to be Brack able to walk away with that gunfight. So now with the 1:50, Florida, they're actually able to get on in. So you have to try to clutch up, get a couple big kills, and TJ starts it off.
He did as well. Brack with a bit of information. See what he can do with it. Cutting away the glass, trying to set up shop and wait for the teammates to join him. Waiting for player 5 and Capsule to come off the respawn. So all players up as Florida make their presence felt quickly. That is an early 2 in favor of them. And Capsule is looking to put in the 3rd. Excellent work from the stagehand as he'll put in the final 2 shots. And from there, the Mutineers can rest pretty comfortably inside of the stage as now Vegas have to make their attack. It's Capsule who is a madman, leading the charge every time Vegas has a viewpoint of the B zone. They are getting ripped to shreds. Can they make a bit of a stir inside of the objective as Capsule again continues to be the man of the hour? Eventually will fall. Florida back up, but they've made a sizable bit of work at B. One more segment to go.
That's a big debt to at least complete both of those segments. And now it's only one left remaining for them to try to force this round number 5. I'd like to see Florida Mutineers, when they found all those kills towards backstage, just simply stack the point. You can watch all the angles that you need to. If everyone is on it, they potentially would have been able to already force that round number 5. But Vegas Legion, they found their way back in. Now keep this round alive a little bit longer. As Florida are trading back and forth in towards the stage. Time is still ticking. Capsule is time to strike. He eventually does take down one, but Vegas Legion are doing a great job of just trading every single time, not losing map control, as that's going to be 3 dead in the feed. All the players from Florida all spawn.
Yeah, it just feels like the MVP, most valuable player on the map right now is Capsule. Every time he's able to really get in the base of Vegas, I mean, they just cannot contain him. However, the rest of the teammates, they can't really say the same. Clay, another massive win. They're on to Vehicle. And right now in Temp, he's got dead silence, at least for the moment. He's going to be in a great spot. So essentially putting the Mutineers in an awkward spawn position. Time continues to tick. Any kill is a big one. Right now here, if you're Legion to go their way. And now here comes Temp. Can he find a big kill? No, he ends up falling. Now here comes TJ. TJ's going to have to do some damage. Cuts away 2. No more respawns left for Florida. It's a 1v4 all down to Tej, and Florida somehow, some way, stay alive. Round 5, here we go.
Florida clutch on up, man. Non-stop progression in towards the stage, but once those lives got cut down, when there were no more remaining, once they took down Standing towards the middle of the map, they knew that the last 2 players were coming on spawn, had to be towards backstage. TJ makes it a little mixy, but he's only able to find those 2 kills, and I'm pretty sure with TJ dropping in that moment, they do not give up that final segment. So Vegas Legion should have another defense to redeem themselves again. But if you are Vegas, you cannot give up that 8 point this time around so easy to Florida. It's got to be a better setup on this time.
Do you see the control round 5 records not looking great for Vegas? As we said, a team that has obviously had plenty of struggles in control. And coming into their series yesterday versus Toronto, they basically tied the record for the most control losses in a row. Can Expo be their map? And they go back to back. We will have to see, but the Mutineers feeling very comfortable as they do find a bit of an edge and a bit of a lane. Brack right into B.
Brack right into B. The only player here currently right now for Florida. So Capsule is going to try to assist him. There's multiple players here for Vegas Legion. Trying to locate where he is. Clay's able to take him down, but Capsule on the flank to put it on the aggression again, but gets cut down right there by Clayster. So with that being 3 dead in the feed, TJ Halley pushed out towards Globe. They are getting the info that they are spawning over towards A, as Beagle just trying to play his life on towards this point. All of his teammates dropping around him. That's another clean 4 dead. Florida only have 1 segment at B to show for it. A minute left. Down by 5 lives.
It just feels like there's a bit of a kill chain effect. Like, if Capsule's able to stay alive for the backside of B, he maybe keeps Vegas's attention, which then thus allows for his teammates to have a better time at that A objective. It just feels like a certain few moments where Florida's aggression maybe starts to get and reach a bitter end. However, they do cut away Standing, and from there it does open things up a bit. TJ's still looming, so they will have to get rid of him. Pretty much silence falls here on Expo. Fellow with a bit of information is now it's up to the Mutineers. What is the play going to be? Back to B. Seems to be the move, as they desperately need to pause this time, and pause it they will.
Yeah, they just need to extend this clock, man. However way they know how. That's by getting the easy one out the way. So that's 2 segments already done at B. Captain's looking like he's gonna put himself in a position to potentially play some exit kills. Great shots from Beagle to take him down, but TJ does not give up on the play. TJ is able to take him down, and now Florida Mutineers, they're scattered. They have to get on a point. They have to be able to stop the clock. Capsule wins 1, Fellow wins another, but at least they are able to hop on this A point. Multiple players from Florida coming straight down the middle ramp, but Vegas, they are ready for it. That's another 2 dead in the feed. Only 15 seconds left. Florida have to go to B now.
You can see the Mutineers, the white arrows quickly moving from A right back into B, into the blender potentially.
Oh no!
Lining them up once more. A force spree here for him and the Mutineers. Can anybody get to that B zone in time? Fellow, oh, it's 1 more bullet from Clay. 1 bullet that lands in the back of the head from Fellow, and with that, that will solidify this control as Vegas Legion able to win another here on Expo.
Oh, it's a big control win for Vegas Legion. It's been their worst mode all season long, but you get rid of Fortress, you add Expo, and so far Vegas Legion look like the most comfortable team on the map. Now puts them at an overall record of 2-1, and now 2-1 in this series. Take back control of this one. Completely forget about that map number 1. Ice up in the last 2 maps. Like Florida Mutineers, they're playing great. Vegas Legion are also playing great. This has been a great series from start to finish.
But I will say shit, like in that moment, like we saw it there at the very end, Clay, that one bullet that lands on Fellow, there's 0.3 seconds. I mean, who knows if he's able to stay alive, but I think based off the map, like there was definitely a chance for the Mutineers could have caused another stir over at the stage. Regardless, whether it's been 1v1s or just even bullets at this point, Vegas, as you said, man, just getting by for the skin of their teeth. Up 2-1 in this series, but what a wild one it has been, Jay. I mean, that Mercado was close. We go to a round 11 1v1. We have a crazy round 5 here on Expo that really didn't look like it had the chance to get there. Some pesky plays that really jumped in here for the Mutineers, but I'll tell you what, man, all I know is that I love myself some Expo. That was a fun first cast that we have on it.
Oh yeah, man, the map's great, man. Like, if you're telling me like this compared to Fortress Control, you can't even get out of your offensive side on Fortress Control, but on Expo, at least you have the opportunity to do so and at least complete one of these points as it goes all the way to round number 5. Both teams played it great, but it was Vegas Legion a little bit stronger on the defensive setup in that round number 5, not giving up A. Once you don't give up A, you know it's free range. You block that black left spawn, you force them all towards Globe, and that's where you see them consistently just cutting them down. You see the frustration right there at a Fellow. He thought once he found that kill, he was going to be good. He was trying to put himself towards that vending machine doorway and laid down potentially, but Clay gets 2 kills, snaps onto Fellow with 1 bullet left, with only 0.3 seconds left on the clock to close out this control for Vegas Legion. The series not done yet, man.
No.
If anything's gonna tell me anything, it means that this map number 4 is definitely within 15 points.
Okay, it's official. Write it down.
Yeah.
We'll see if that actually ends up being the case once this Embassy hardpoint comes to a close. But it was a welcoming sight, as you said, for Vegas to still look good on Expo. Another heartbreaking loss if you are the Mutineers. Right, obviously losing the round 5 to Toronto, losing another round 5 here to the Vegas Legion. But my God, as we come into Embassy hardpoint, buddy, talk to me about it. I mean, what are the records? What are the things that you're looking out for? Can Vegas Legion lock it up here?
I think Vegas Legion definitely have the opportunity to lock it up on some Embassy hardpoint, but both teams, they tend to struggle on this. A little bit more for Florida than for Vegas Legion, but Florida, they're sitting at an overall record of 2-8. They're 12th in holds, they are 10th in breaks, and they are 8th in rotations, going up against Vegas Legion, who are 10th in holds, 11th in breaks, and 9th in rotations. So these guys are right next to each other when it comes to the stats. The only thing that's different is the actual amount of times that they both have played it and both found some success. So I think if you are Florida Mutineers, the last time you did play this was against Seattle. It was only a 16-point game. On the opposite side for Vegas Legion, they went up against LAG and ended up losing this one by 54 points. So I think if you are Florida Mutineers, you have a lot of momentum on your side. Very close match from start to finish of this series. You have the potential to walk away with 2 hard points versus a team like Vegas Legion. Ever since they picked up Standy, this has been a mode where they have been able to shine. So in my opinion, this series is far from over.
Jay, have you seen what Simp is doing right now? It looks like maybe Standy could be inspiring a movement potentially.
He said, "Hey, bro, you're dropping a 1.6. I gotta join you, brother."
Sleeveless.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, imagine Clay comes back with his sleeves up. I'll be mind blown.
That would be incredible. I would love to see that. Show off those forearms, big boy. TJ. Well, I don't think we're gonna see that from him, Jay. He looks pretty set in his ways right now.
Yeah, he definitely does. Like, just imagine though, if TJ just turned on his camera and was just sleeveless. Like, Doug Sensor would be so proud of this squad right here for showing off the guns.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure Doug is watching this match just incredibly proud of what he's been able to do.
Oh, wait,
you know, right now in the CDL. What's going on?
They're also probably inspired by the mid-season pack that just recently dropped. I don't know if you got it, but I got it. The guy's pretty sick. He's pretty sick. He's
cool.
nice and
You can like power bomb people, right?
I know, for some reason, whenever I play with that character, though, I feel like every time I find myself on Fortress, I gotta make my way to stage to at least get a couple pull-ups in. Like, because you gotta get a workout in when you're looking that good on the map.
I'll tell you what, man, I think the Florida Mutineers, I mean, we're talking about both these teams. I mean, they should absolutely be rocking that skin. These are the guys who made that play famous, Jay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Fortunately,
What was the
Havoc
stat?
isn't here.
We saw the stat like at Major 3, and obviously we wish the absolute best to Havoc. Hope that he can make a return very soon. But he was the guy who was like making the pull-ups all the time. There was like what was it, like 4-0 or something? When Florida does pull-ups, they win games.
Yeah, that's insane, bro. Like, every time they get a good workout in, they usually find some success. And so far in this series, they found some success in map number 1. The Snakes weren't the best from bracking that S&D. And then even in his final moments, Fellow just wasn't ready for the super bullets coming out of Clayster. But look at these guys, man. They're just ready. They are ready to go.
They're ready, Jay. They're ready for the Major. They are ready for Major 4. Here's the mid-season pack.
Look at them. It looks just like Standy.
It is causing a stir, ladies and gentlemen. It's causing a movement across the entirety of the CDL. You can feel free to go ahead and get your mid-season pack. And I've heard, Jay, that you actually get extra aim assist if you do rock this character while also putting up your sleeve. So I would definitely recommend it, because I think we could all use some more aim assist, myself included, especially.
Now imagine if you were hitting pull-ups in the middle of all that, you know? Rocking the camos, rocking the skin, sitting shirtless, like you're probably shooting at 99% overall. And the way that Standy has been playing so far in the stage, he's basically 99 overall.
Yeah, absolutely is. We all look like Vivid with incredible accuracy, but the embassy hardpoint we go. We'll go and take a look at the record. 6-9 here for Vegas, 2-8 here for the Florida Mutineers. And well, don't take a look at those holds and, you know, breaks and stuff like that, Jay. It's new teams. New teams. Yeah, we'll just forget about those things.
Yeah, definitely throw those out the window, you know? Like, because we saw 1-8 Mercado map number 1 for Florida. They came out and won it. 2-8. Can they one up at this time around to force the game number 5? But here we go. Vegas Legion starting off on the better side. Should get a good amount of time off of this P1. They know where Florida are going to attack from. It's all about this man rap control. And Clayster starts it off with a big kill on the beat.
Oh, and Clay, baby.
Whoa.
Hello, Brack. How you doing, buddy? I don't know yet, Jay. It looks like in that player cam, he's yet to move the sleeves up, but there could be a little bit of something showing. Maybe he's moved up the wrist a tad bit. We'll have to see. 21 unanswered points so far here for Vegas Legion, trying to extend it. But obviously, both teams very much so trying to be aware of the bottom side of the map for P2.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. It's fighting for these spawns over towards P2. So back, trying to stay alive as long as he can towards the back of the truck. Eventually gets some assistance from Vico, but it turns to another 1v1 versus Clayster. For this streak control, Temp is at least able to take down Capsule, but it's looking like Florida Mutineers with more bodies on this side of the map. Should be early setup for this P2 hard point. They take care of Standy. They spawn Vegas all the way in the opposite side. Now should be Florida racking up some much needed time.
I don't know if you noticed it, Jay, but it was like when Clay and Brack were in that early fight, Clay shoots his body, Brack comes back and just snakes his heart out again. He's like, okay, you're gonna shoot my body? All right, let's just, everything's out of the picture. We're taking our shirts off. We're just gonna snake everybody. Now we Brack erupts for 4. Florida right back in this game and threat of maybe even taking the lead. And maybe, who knows, Mr. Carson Newberry with a bit of life, bit of hunger now coming into this map, as it now makes it 5 in a row before he falls.
Makes it 5 in a row, but you will take that if you are Florida Mutineers, because Vegas Legion are only able to find a break for about 15 seconds remaining of that jug time. But off the rotation, a couple players from Vegas Legion already set up towards top AC. Clayster and TJ, that dynamic duo, but you're not ready for the pistol out of Brack, as he does get Clay 1 hit. Rest of his teammates, time to strike, trying to take care of him. Great job from Fellows, great shots to take down Clay. And that's going to be Florida Mutineers winning no key gunfights to win a rotation over towards Nest.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge, right? We talked about here on Embassy. It is all about this rotation toward ACs, the rotation toward Office. And I mean, Mutineers not only break it, but they break it at the very start of it all. So that being the case, Vegas, TJ especially, needing to get back on the board, get something going. A very staggered push as TJ walks his way in. Standy at least able to poke away at 1 for Fellow. Does fall, and from there, this has been solid work so far from the Mutineers. Here comes the good push, though, from Vegas. Able to wipe away 2, and take a look at Clay. He's leading the way with the fast FJ.
Yeah, Clay's like, all right, don't worry, guys. I'm the first one in line. I'm going to go. You guys can bait the hell out of me, but we're going to be able to get this break for another final 15 seconds. With all that pressure going on towards Old, now leaves the opening for Florida Mutineers to push up through street side. They're pushing TJ out through the back end. Eventually, a couple of players come to assist them in temp from the top lines. They're just cutting down these players to the best of their abilities. But Florida, they're still on a hard point. Vegas have to find this break, and they do so on the back of Standy's two-piece.
Yeah, of course. Right, it comes off the back of Standy. 9-6, Temp 8-4. TJ, well, okay. It's fine. It's okay. No worries. Snake your heart out. That seems to work for everybody. There it is. This game, you see what it does. Wonderful kill comes in from Tej. And now here comes the pursuit from Florida. Making their way toward the outside of PD. And all right, Vegas, come out with your hands up. Temp ends up falling in from there. Florida takes them a while, but they're finally able to make the break.
They're finally able to find that break for about 20 seconds of that P4 strat time. But now we go in towards Kitchen, where we see Clayster multiple times throughout the year whip out that Vaz Dev and turn it to sub Clay. It's all going to be about these fights towards the back street. TJ at least cuts down 2 towards middle PD, but the rest of the players from Florida already towards back gas. Great stakes from Fellow, but it gets 2 beats by Temp, and that's going to be Vegas Legion holding down the first push.
Solid one at that. Vaznev's obviously out for pretty much every single player. Capsule trying to make nothing happen toward the flank, so he's able to stay alive. Somehow on 10 HP, he is shooting everybody out of their socks. Cap, does he have an answer for a second one? Meanwhile, his teammates doing a wonderful job from the front. DJ Cap had yourself a moment. Juking players left and right, and there you have it. Another break for the Mutineers, growing their lead.
Oh, Mutineers, they're playing perfect. Like Capsule with only 10 HP was able to hit the route, stay alive just long enough to find the 2-piece to enter in towards this kitchen. With only 10 seconds left on this P5, Vegas Legion, I feel like every single time it gets down to the final 15, that time is theirs. But if you allow Florida to break the way that they have been so far on this map, we're definitely going to a game 5.
We'll see. After the first set of rotations, it's the Mutineers with a decent advantage. We'll see if they can hold on to it. A massive map for them, trying to not go 0-5 in this stage. Let's step aside and see how the comms are sounding right now. The Mutineers.
Help me, push up, help me. He's one shot.
He's dead.
Nice. I got him back.
Dead.
One more. I don't know where you're temp from me from.
Still bottom bathrooms. Flanking me.
I think he's red. I think he's red.
Nice. Good call.
Nice, go in.
Yeah, good fucking call. I'm making it.
Nice. I'm gonna play paper. I'll play paper. Can you guys
get Tom? Yeah.
He's bathroom wall.
Paper weak.
I died paper. Paper couldn't be
Good bullets in him, Club.
Pulling out an AR.
Yeah, bet. One sec.
Top secret.
Temp is back P2 trucks. On the right truck, he has the choke down, okay? Do the top graffiti shit that we talked about, alright?
Heard you.
I'm gonna kill. You're killing this guy. I'm gonna kill him outside.
He's in the back vans. He's in the back vans.
I'm stunning it for you. Oh, top paper. V1 paper.
Did you kill the guy in the back?
No, V1 single truck on me, one shot. Okay. I nailed it.
V1 in the back up.
V1 again.
Graffiti.
V1, one shot. V1, kill him, hang on. He's still V1 on me. V1
go for middle,
They're gonna be gas. Probably gonna be gas.
Absolute middle.
I'm one shot. Team killed. One's in the back. One's in the back.
Both sides.
Backside time.
One stop gas.
He's going gas. I'm reflanking gas.
He's gonna be double trucks. He's double trucks.
I can pinch him. Hang on. Give me a second. I'm pinching him now.
And one's gas for sure.
I don't see him.
Double trucks, one shot. He's backside time, Clay, absolute.
I got one Vans.
Nice.
One's under me. Under me gas for sure.
I'm holding middle.
For sure under me somewhere. He's deep gas.
30 seconds. I'm holding middle for you.
I got him. I should have.
Go for your gas. I'm playing new.
One's on new.
I need it.
Play one single AC. Go P1
middle.
him. Okay.
Yes. Give me a second.
It's a good 20.
Yeah, I'm holding this 20.
Yo, Nate, this shit with me. Nate single.
Don't you dead?
Nice.
And you can hear the difference in the comms from Vegas Legion of Florida Mutineers. Definitely the intensity is there for Florida. You heard Tyler Fellow directing the troops, knowing what we did in practice. This is what we need to transition into this crucial game to avoid going 0-5. And with a great hold over at P2, they have now grown themselves a nice little comfortable lead. Now it's all about this break in towards the AC. They found the first go around, but TJ, he's the man this time to at least cut down 2 in towards orange. And now Florida still super far away from this hill.
Yeah, rumor has it, actually, if Florida go 0-5, they actually get fed to the Kraken. So the sense of urgency is obviously there if you are the Mutineers, as they are desperately trying to make their way into the ACs again. Fellow, well, he is running right into the shooting gallery for Vegas Legion. They are locking down ACs and then some. Bracken caused a bit of a stir on the backside. He's trying to cause a decently sized distraction. However, Vegas are not budging. They're not budging one bit. Tip with the big 1v1. He eventually falls. So final 15 awarded to Florida. But it was a much different hill this time around, Jay, than the first set of rotations.
Oh yeah, much different. I would have liked to see like at least one player from Florida Mutineers make their route all the way through back PD, cut that guy out to give your team a different angle of approaching it. But Vegas Legion have climbed themselves right back into this game. Currently down by 30 points, but they lose those key gunfights off the rotation, and that's going to be Florida Mutineers' early setup in towards bottom PD.
They've reached that 200-second mark. And now for Vegas. What does the attack begin to look like? They lose 2 players again off of spawn. So for Temp, this is a difficult gunfight, right? You don't necessarily have the weapon for the job. Thankfully, though, Standy is here, and really he can be a one-man wrecking crew from time to time. It really is the twosome here from Vegas, as both he and Standy get involved. Same thing can be said for TJ. Excellent work here for Vegas. Remain composed, breaking exactly when they have to, and from there, I mean, if they lock down the final 15, we basically have a tie game going into new.
Almost a tie game, but it's all about those fights off the rotation, as Temp is the guy holding down that final 15 seconds. So with that being 3, make it all 4 dead. Only one player closest to the point is going to be Capsule. He gets taken care of by Subclayster. It's time to watch the old man work in towards the kitchen. Close the door, have some manners. And now it's Vegas Legion fully set up to potentially take the lead over on this P5.
Gonna close those doors, Jay, with the sleeves up. It's getting cold out there. Starting to be in range of a lead change.
Again.
Another clean 4 down as Vegas about to take the lead once more. Florida, meanwhile, on the outside, beginning a 3-man push. Clay, ever so carefully, peeks his head out through the doorway. Ready for the brigade, ready for the nades, the utility that's about to get tossed, about to get exchanged. Here comes Finkel. Clay, able to deal with him. Brack ends up finding one. Capsule and him trying to do some work, but Standy coming out on top. Here comes the 1v1. It's the Stand Man who clears the way, and Vegas awarded the scrap time.
Oh, big time right there for Vegas Legion. Also for them to maintain this side of the map, because it's a lot easier to hold them off of P1 when you have top AC, you have presence in towards top paper, but that team kill might cause them some issues. Sandy on the flank onto Brack. Is able to take a power position to keep him off of this P1, but 231 to 217. This is going to be a photo finish. I said it was going to be a 15-point difference and a hard point, and it definitely has a chance to be that.
It absolutely has the legs to get there, buddy. A lot of time still to fight for, though. We talk about P1. Clay recognizing such. That's 3 down. You can just jump right inside of the hard point. Florida have to come to you. A bit of an organized push at that, so they really only get 3 seconds out of it, and also the spawns now favor the Mutineers, so they look like a very comfortable spot here from Vegas has absolutely turned on its head.
Oh no. You have to lock in right now if you are Vegas Legion. You're giving up all that time to allow Florida to take the lead off of that P1, but Clayster with the perfect read on the repitch to hold down this street side. Trying to be the anchor for Vegas Legion to try to close out this series. It's a tie game, 234 to 234. Vegas take the lead, 10 points away from calling series.
Here we go. Florida, they've got to make a move. Brack, he's got to cause a bit of a problem, fellow, with the nade. That's 2. Vegas get wiped off the point. Clay has to back up, but thankfully, he's got Temp at his side. Brothers in arms as Vegas look to try to reclaim the hard point. It's a tie game. Mutineers just starting to edge them out. Do we have a game 5 inbound? It's a 1v1 inside of the objective. Temp able to take it. Florida thought they had it. Mutineers thought they had it. But here comes Vegas. Now they're 2 points away from college game. And there it is. Boy, did they have to work for every W. But coming out clutch again, our Legion improving their record now to 4-1 as top seed secured, moving into Major 4.
Whew! Gotta take a deep breath if you are Vegas Legion, because every single map was all the way down to the wire. But in those final moments, Florida Mutineers, they were able to find a couple kills, get gas control, take mid Xbox control, but they could not take down Clayster and Temp over towards street side. the only 2 players from Vegas Legion in that position. They knew that they had to stay alive. We have to watch it again, man. We got to be able to break this one down. It all starts with Clay finding this kill on the repitch. That's going to be 2 dead in defeat. You still see Florida with the better side control over towards gas. And then eventually it's Florida finding the first couple of kills to find an opening in towards the hill. Standy finds his initial 2. The score is starting to run up. Brack takes down the first. That's the guy off hill. Fella with a great nade onto Standy. Now it's the last 2 players from Vegas Legion holding down this street side. This is where the discipline comes in from Vegas, because usually Donnie Temp, he's probably going to fly out, but he knows this is such a crucial moment. We have to stay alive in this position, allow our SMGs to hit the flank. They find a couple kills. Standy finds 2 on the backside towards gas, and then once you get it clean, 4 dead, you know where they're coming from. All through the middle of the map as they cut them down, win the game by 3 points, and close out the series.
It just feels like, man, Vegas Legion starting to right the wrongs. I mean, so often we talk about how they were losing to close teams. I have no idea what that was doing right there, by the way. But they were losing versus, you know, lower caliber teams. They were losing neck and neck hard points. It feels like everything is coming together right now for the Vegas Legion as they walk away with 3 very close dubs, improve their record to 4-1, and really send Florida into a negative headspace, Jay. That's 0-5 as they are not in a great spot. Now moving into main.
And that's so tough if you are Florida Mutineers, because I think from start to finish of this series, they played a great series on maps where they usually don't find a lot of success. So the practice has been working on the back end. It's just those final moments, those clutch moments where Clayster was able to do it in the search and destroy. Clayster was able to do it in the control. And even in those final moments, the vets, Clayster and Temp, are able to close out the game for Vegas Legion. 4-1 in the stage, first time in winners. Vegas Legion, they tied up Minnesota as well for that 8th seed. It's getting spicy.
It definitely is, right? That was the question coming into this series. Would they be able to do it? And yes, they have. Vegas get the dub. Desk, take it away, guys. I've taken some inspiration throughout that last series.
I can't do it.
I don't think they're going
I
out.
want to, but we're stuck right here, fam. Wow, great stuff from Lando and Study as always, but more impressive stuff from the young man who refuses to let sleeves grace his arms. Standy has been a monster this week in Vegas. They got to be thankful that Toronto dropped this man for them to pick up, because Standy saved them once again. That game 4, Vegas completes the upset, but not if Standy dies at the end.
It is once again a situation where Standy is that final little push in the hard point, the final little push and respawn for them to take it home.
And I said upset. Sorry. This is one of the few times that Vegas is the favorite here. Florida played them well, though. Let's go back here throughout this series and talk about the strength from both teams, because this was back and forth, especially that game 4. Nameless, what did you see from the 2 squads?
You know, when I look at Florida throughout the series, a lot of mistakes. It's tough when you have like a new roster, especially when your superstar Havoc is sitting out. You think about that search and destroy. Why was the B wrap so slow? If they go faster, they maybe secure that win. You think about that hard point, they were playing off of the scrap time on that second rotation. Vegas played textbook Call of Duty, rotating every single time, still trailing, getting initial, and then Florida would break on it at the very end, get 20 seconds, and keep their lead. Well, they stopped rotating, and eventually that catches up to you. So some of these fundamental things that you need to do as a Call of Duty team, Florida is not doing right now, which is why I don't want to sit here and say that they played great throughout the series, because I really don't think they played good. I don't think they played good.
But they had winnable moments, and they let this series slip through their fingertips. I think their coaches will break that down for them in the VODs. For now, though, we're celebrating another dub for Vegas. Their 4th now of the 4th major qualifier. Let's take a look at the scuff play of the game. And the man behind the clutch, he had 3 opportunities. The one that mattered most, he got it here, Alley Cat.
I mean, every single time there was a 1v1 in this series, it was Clay the last alive. And you gotta think, at some point, he wins the 1v1. You see he loses the second one to Capsule, and then it's the final one versus Brack, the most important round 11 of the game. The stakes were in hand.
I mean, good God. Come on, Brack. This is prime form. You got to win this. The old man, I actually didn't get to see Clay's perspective here. That is a tough win, man. He gets the gunny, wins the round 11, and that's the momentum they need to win these next 2 matches.
We officially calculated it. That was 25 snakes in 17 seconds from Brack. Clay had enough of it, letting Brack know you're not welcome in my lobby. Clay, the anti-snake. The man's like a wombat, baby.
I couldn't believe my eyes. When I was sitting there, I was like, Brad, come on, no way that we're doing this. But you know, round 11, sometimes you're gonna pull out the stops, but it's the old man that gets the dub.
Anyone that hates snaking, tell me that 1v1 with Clay and Brack wasn't it? Nah, last stand.
Nah.
You getting blocked. Nah, you getting blocked, bro.
That is a mute minimum. 3 top world champs don't snake, but they do some ramp glitches.
Also, did Clay snake? I don't think Clay snaked in that fight.
He hit like one,
I think
like
he just
semi.
yeah, that's typical.
Like Snemi sank, and then he was like, nah, I'm not succumbing to this.
Listen, when Clay won that 1v1, I've never heard Fight, one of our replay ops, scream louder ever in his life.
Facts.
Vegas Legion duct taped together at the start of the season, now finding their form, are officially 4-1 in our qualifier. That is their 5th match. They are done. We won't see them until next week for Major number 4, which kicks off live from Columbus. But that 4-1, where does it put them here? We got to take a look at who's underneath. Maybe you get another win from Atlanta tonight. Surge could potentially catch them. That's got to be top 3, top 4, right?
I mean, yeah, we're seeing it right now on our screen. I mean, I never thought I'd see Vegas Legion on the left side of our standings, to be honest. Couldn't be happier for them.
They're looking great. I mean, honestly, yeah, it's probably going to leave them in a top 3 situation, and that's just wild to hear because this is a team that has never been in the winner's bracket ever before, and now they officially clinched the 8th place spot for now to make it into champs.
And we officially have a Legion in the top 8 for the first time in forever. Congratulations, squad. Let's see how long you can hold on to the position as everyone is gunning for their back. A lot to talk about here as we still have 2 more matches to go, and of course reminders to pick up your gear, get it in game, out of game. If you got a cell phone, you're gonna want to bust that baby out. Pull out the camera mode, scan that QR code, do that, and you could be scoring your Call of Duty League packs. And of course, Flow State, we got a double blueprint opportunity here for the fans, Allie.
Yeah, and I mean, you want to hit that Flow State, you want to look like standing during these past couple of series, make sure you get yourself the pack.
Hook yourself up. We're going to be headed to a commercial break. When we come back, hopefully we'll be chatting with our winner. If not, we'll jump right in the match. Boston takes on OpTic Texas. Can OpTic go a perfect 5-0, or is Breach making a run for a top spot? We'll find out after this. Upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. The Call of Duty League is presented by the GMC Hummer EV Pickup, the world's first all-electric super truck. The Call of Duty League is brought to you by the new series Citadel, premiering on April 28 only on Prime Video.
Welcome back, everybody. We have Fike's favorite player joining us live. Clayster is on the line after the most recent victory, the fourth here of Major IV Qualifier. Clay, you guys now just get to sit back and watch the rest of the competition while you get ready for the tournament next week. But what was it like today? It seemed that Florida was able to take you guys to the edge.
Yeah, I mean, first off, I like the Fike shout out Fike. If you know, you know. And but yeah, I mean, it's a great team. Like the CDL is so competitive this year. Yeah, they might have went 0-5 this stage, but I still think that any of the team can beat any team. 12th seed can beat first seed and anything in between. So we knew that we had a goal to accomplish this stage, and honestly, we faltered a little bit losing to London. And I'm just glad we did what we needed to do the rest of the stage to end it with the 4-1 winners bracket, and I think we cracked in the top 8 for the first time.
Woo! Oh, we know, Clay. I could have closed my eyes and I could have known how the game was going simply based off of Fike's reaction in the other room. But speaking of all of those 1v1s, I mean, every time it was that situation, you were the last person alive. Talk me through each and every one of them in the last one where it was a snaking battle for the ages.
Yeah, I mean, I got 3 1v1s there. I think in the first 2, I used my dead silence too early. You kind of have to wait till the bomb is down or the enemy plants a bomb before you use your dead silence, and I popped it too early those first 2 rounds. And really, Brack made a good read. We had bomb down at B, and for some reason he played A. Maybe they just didn't know bomb was down or something. I had it timed out to like a half a second before I planted, and then this last 1v1, I mean, can we talk about like this? Like, what are we playing here? What are we doing? Like, look at this. I'm surprised the devs haven't noticed this yet. I mean, no offense to Brack, but any like good snaker, I'm dead there 100% of the time. If that's Cell, Abe, anybody, I'm dead 100% of the time there. So realistically, this needs to be fixed. It needs to be out of the game. That is the biggest cheese ever. I can't believe like that. I just played a round 11 1v1 like that. It's the craziest 1v1, like the weirdest, cheesiest 1v1 I've ever played.
Yeah.
Clay, talk to me about your performance today. You absolutely fried. I know yesterday a couple maps, you know, they were a little tough for you, but individually you came with a different energy today. Was there something different that you did in preparation for today's match?
Nothing different preparation. It's nice not having first match. When we have first match, we have to wake up earlier than we normally do for scrims, and so I think that affects our whole team. And you know, just having to like readjust your schedule. With these later matches, we can still get at the same time we do every day for practice, but when you have first match, you have to get up like an hour earlier. I'm not saying that matters that much, but I think like that's the biggest difference between yesterday and today. I had a big talk with my teammates. I kind of individually texted them last night, and like it's a good thing if I'm the worst player on the team, but I never want to be letting them down. I always want to make sure that like I'm reliable. They can rely on me to win my ones, do the right play, make sure I'm keeping everybody in check. And so yesterday I felt like I kind of let them down a little bit. And so I was just texting them like, what exactly do you guys want out of me to be the best teammate I can be for you guys, to be the best leader I can for you guys? Because we have a disgusting squad now. We can actually do stuff. We can win tournaments. We can make it to champs. We can even win champs. And I just want to be the best IGL, the best leader I can for these guys, and you know, make them believe in me. So that's really what my mindset was.
Hell yeah.
I love it. That's Clay. We had Standy on earlier, the duo getting it done. We can't wait to see you next week. This match, though, is ready to go. But no feel about Vegas.
What you eating, baby?
We got Boston. Miles and Chance. Game is ready. You guys can take it away because OpTic's winning this one quick, right?
I'm so sorry. I thought I had more time. I did not have more time. Hey, this is pretty green, this matchup. Let's face it. A potential boob series, you know what I'm talking about. Chance, this should be a very, very fun one indeed, man. I can't wait.
This is the type of series that, like, I think we're almost testing the limits of, like, what's possible in Call of Duty this year, because OpTic right now, as dominant as they have been and as good as these maps are for them, we haven't seen a single team go 5-0 this year. Like, even Vegas Legion, one of the crazier things, could have pulled off the 5-0 strap, but they ended up losing to the 12th seed, the technical worst team in the game. So, not an easy feat to go 5-0 in Boston, obviously. I mean, they're tough competition, make no mistake. However, that Mercado, 10-3. OpTic are 7-0 on this map since picking up Ghosty, and some of their wins are utterly dominant on this map, specifically Hardpoint as a whole. I mean, OpTic right now, obviously we said they could go 5-0. They've been getting dominant wins. Even if they get 3-1 in this series, they're still going to have the best map win percentage of like any split we've had this year. So we'll see what happens. It's crazy stuff off the rip. Frags all over the place.
I was going to say, and also a big matchup here for Kremp. To see how he fares. He starts things off with a lovely nade there over towards the middle of the map as we battle towards P2. Good stuff out of the OpTic boys. Huke's already started this one off 3-0, and I want to backpedal and say Clay was spitting, but you already know.